All right, we're back in, and the map has had a few subtle changes with some nation relocations. I believe you're in charge of that, Johan, so fill us in. What happened to the Far East here?
Switzerland got eliminated, basically, and we put up Starnen in a new country. He's now Ming.
Yeah.
And Helia has been eliminated from Brunei, and I put them in Man.
So there we go. Starnan over as the Beast in the East with Ming, and with Helia there as a rather well pieced together AI Manchu. Now the Ming are doing pretty well. They've stayed strong and stable as an AI, and yeah, big army, lots of power. And in fact, AI Ming was able to bring the fight to both of our Indian players in a previous war. And now the Starnan is there, the arbiter of the region now, I suppose. And that's probably good for the region's health, given that we have Kaiser Johan, newly formed as Japan, making trouble in the region, and well, not to mention the Indians.
Yeah, and the Timurids. So we have like a six player if you count Malacca. Oh, sorry, I forgot Manchu. Oh, we have a player.
Yeah, straight away the Kaiser went in. Looks like they want to nibble up the last bits of Korea. They sent a white piece over to the Ming immediately. I don't know if Ming is going to take that or not. This may or may not be something that the Kaiser and Starnan have agreed upon, but Starnan isn't taking it just yet. Because obviously, the Kaiser, as Japan, he wants to take over the rest of Japan, and it's all been Korea-fied. So we'll see. I don't see Starnan biting at that opportunity yet or not. We'll see what comes of that. If Ming pieces out, then it's just Kaiser Johan eating up Korea. If not, Ming might be straight away throwing in, themselves into conflict. And again, they've not taken that white piece yet.
No.
Japan controls the seas. They'll be safe there, I think.
In about 15 years, we'll see how the situation changes in Europe with the new victory cards. And I think without these victory cards, I think a lot of the players are going to be a little bit waiting in Europe and see what happens. Because it's like you don't want to commit on one side and you're going to benefit from being on another side. And since the elimination of Switzerland and France and Spain, we have a completely different setup in Europe. You have the three Italian powers, Austria, Andalusia, Great Britain, Brazil. And then on the other side, you have Hungary, Commonwealth, Prussia, Saxony, and Brunswick. But I don't think those are...
Yeah, I don't think the political lines are as cleanly drawn as they might seem, because, as you said, in 15 years or so, new victory cards, the biggest victory cards yet at 3,000 points, are going to spawn, and it would be bad to commit to one side only to find that the side you're helping holds your key to victory. I'm going to get a quick look at how the score is looking overall, because again, we play for score around here. Top 3 walk away with the trophies here. So here's a big question I think is on a lot of people's minds. Is Ming going to be eligible for the top 3 trophy?
Good question.
People with those questions can come back at a later date for that one.
I'm looking at where the victory cards are. The victory cards is Sakhalin, a Japanese territory, and the victory cards are on... Oh yeah. This is interesting.
Aha, yeah, they've got one all the way over on the Timurids.
They have to fight the Timurids or Japan to get their victory cards. So yeah, that's an interesting position.
Yeah, so Ming can't just sit idly by if they want to get their scorecards coming out of all of that. Looking at how people are doing score-wise right now, we have Delhi and Vijayanagar in the top 2 right now. I think Vijayanagar stands to do even better if they get their Zhejiang victory card. But not too far below that, we've got the Commonwealth, we have the Timurids, and we have Japan. And Japan's doing well because they got their 2K victory card. But again, the 3K victory card is due to spawn in just 14 years, so I reckon that will change things up quite a bit politically.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And let's not forget about Benin. They only have 700 at the moment, but they have some free victory cards because Timbuktu abandoned Africa.
Yeah, so they'll be able to take the 1,000 point card there. I don't know if Brazil is about to just surrender the coastline that they have. It's decent land for them to hold, but I don't know. Their colors are too similar. I want one of them to beat the other, so I don't keep getting confused between the two of them. And Daniel, as Benin, did come out with a claim that Africa's for the Africans last time. So I think he wants to do something about this. He certainly wasn't happy about Brittany having the Cameroon pass colonized. So we'll see what Benin makes of that. They had a great war against Kilwa last session. And thanks to securing the fort at Masapa, they turned the whole war around. And, well, I don't know if the writing's on the wall for Kilwa or not against Benin's Southern Africa.
There's a triple alliance in the east, though. The Timurids, Genoa, and Hungary are fighting together.
I was not expecting Timurids to side with Hungary here.
Well, who else should they side with? German can't help them super much against the Italians, but Hungary is like they still have the European possessions, but they're more of a...
Well, they're kind of an everywhere power now. They chose to blob hard into Central Asia. Well, it could be a good alliance with Timurids, because Hungary, I think, is fairly insulated from threat for a while, at least until Commonwealth decide that they really want to take Slovakia off of them. So it would be a good way to defend against the Indians if they come knocking. But I'm surprised that Timurids isn't cozying up a bit more with Ming to deal with the Indian threat. Again, Ming has that victory card on Timurids, but I wonder what that's worth to the both of them.
And the Indians have victory cards on Ming, and like we all know what happens when the Indian states tried to invade Ming with Japanese help last time.
Yeah, the three of them, and Ming solidly thumped them.
That was AI run Ming.
Yeah, AI run Ming, and they. But now it's not just player Ming, it's Starnan Ming, and Starnan is a phenomenally good player. So I'd be a little afraid if I was on Ming's radar right now. But that could leave the Indians feeling a little boxed in. I mean, sure enough, they've got India to themselves, but they're kind of blocked off in Burma because Malacca's there. The Timurids, they've receded a bit in their borders, but they're still there, and they're still pretty big and powerful. Yemen's kind of been chilling throughout all of this as well. Clausewitz is cool over in Yemen. They have alliances with... well, do they still have their Kilwa alliance? No, they don't. Still, they've got their alliances, but they're not really burning from losses. They ate up Ethiopia and have just been chilling out since then. Interesting that the Ming's not taking that white piece. They remain at war with Japan, but they aren't mobilizing on Japan. But they must understand that they cannot win on the naval front. Let's see, Ming's ideas are economic, offensive, influence, quantity.
And their fleet is getting sunk by the Japanese.
Yeah. There we go, they've made their peace now, probably realizing that they can't take the fight to Japan. And there's the thing about Japan, he's got a big and powerful navy. I think once Korea's out of the picture for them, they're in an extremely strong position.
Press F for the Mamluks.
Oh, hey, the Mamluks put up a good fight, and they still have Alexandria under occupation, but now it's time for Jerusalem to grow. Jerusalem have cores, and they want them back.
Yeah, but the Pope is occupying them.
Oh. Well, surely they're just taking them in order to hand them over to Jerusalem, right? Let's see, Jerusalem, Milan, and the Papal State are together in this war. I just can't get over how fast Alexandria seems to fall, but I don't think the Mamluks have much left to fight back with. As an AI goes, they've played terrifically for really this entire campaign, right? They took chunks out of the Ottomans, they resisted European invasion, they've been a force to reckon with. But now, I think they're about to be dead and buried. They can't stand up to this kind of assault. I reckon Austria wants to take the Anatolian holdings. Austria seems to be kind of migrating down this way, kind of becoming Greece or Balkan after their decapitation back in Vienna. He probably won't, but I'd love to see Commonwealth do some cultural exchange on Vienna. Yeah, poor Mamluks, they are down and out now. Any other wars going on right now? There's just the war against Chagatai, who's still supposedly a tributary state to the Ming, but I don't think Ming's about to defend them. Who's benefiting in this war against Chagatai? Does anybody have a victory card on them? Yeah, well, I see... The Timurids victory card includes land held by Hungary, so I don't think Hungary's about to surrender that. Looks more like Hungary just want to grow and grow.
They want to reach the sea.
Yeah,
fight
probably. There's no end to them. Maybe they want to pick a fight with Japan, because we do have Japanese Kamchatka over in the far, far east here.
And if you wonder where the Mamluk armies are, the last Mamluk army is... They're attacking the capital of Austria, which is in Friaul, because they don't...
They wanted to go to Vienna, but they can't anymore. So instead they're sieging down Friuli. I think Milan wants that one. Oh, and they're making swift progress on it. They brought 3 siege and 8 cannons. So... What's Austria doing? I think they're doubling back a bit, but I think they're about to lose their capital.
Where's the winged hussars coming?
That would be pretty great if they took the opportunity to...
They're marching into Italy.
Oh, wow.
Marching into Italy.
The last hurrah from the Mamluks, and they've ploughed through Austria's brand new capital like it's nothing. Oh, but they're heading over to Venezia, which might be a mistake for them. Depends if Milan can jump on that.
But there's no capital in Venetia, and there's no fleets there to stop.
Yeah, I think they'll still have free run. Oh well. Milan is pretty well defended with forts, last I checked. Yeah, so they won't be so swiftly cut through like Austria was.
Well, that fort's gonna fall quickly in Ferrara.
Yeah, wow, that's a pretty good siege stack from the Mamluks.
It's interesting how Milan seems to lose battles, lose campaigns, but somehow always end up growing and surviving.
Wow, Ferrara lasted about 2 siege ticks there. And yeah, Milan's story is a pretty good one, right? They went from rags to riches again, and now they're doing pretty good. But unfortunately, they're getting caught by this Mamluk stack. I wonder what they're actually going for here. Do the Milanese think that they will be able to do pretty well in Egypt? I mean, it seems like everybody wants to get their fingers in this pie right now. Definitely Jerusalem wants some. All of Milan has been able to take is one province here. A good province, hell, a great province. A province that used to belong to Denote before he got Mamluked out of existence.
Speaking of sacking capitals, check where the Mamluk army is now. Oh, we have another player war.
We got another player war. What are you up to, Ming? This is Delhi's conquest of Morang. So Delhi's gunning down Chagatai, and Ming is having none of that. So it's another war of Ming against our Indian friends, but this time without the involvement of the Kaiser. Now, here's the question. Can Starnan do even better than AI Ming did in repelling the Indians? The downside for Starnan here is that the war's against Chagatai, so it's not exactly a war on their borders exactly. Right, I see. So it was for a... No, I don't see. The target here is Chagatai, conquest of Morang. Right, I see it now. It's against the province of U, but U is a subject to Chagatai. So Delhi and Vijayanagar just have to protect that, and they'll be able to get taking war score. It would take a lot for the Ming to mobilize and actually invade India for that province. But they still got involved. There might be a deal going on, or it might be time for the Starnan to mobilize. Either way, he's not paying for his armies right now. He's keeping them at absolute zero maintenance and drowning in money instead.
You talked about Milan being defended by a lot of forts.
Yeah, those forts are absolutely crumbling in the face of the Mamluks right now. I thought maybe that Austrian stack would come to lend a hand, but no. No, and a bit more no. Poor Milan. They're going to burn a bit on that. Their war exhaustion is going up by about 0.3 a month.
The Pope moved back his army. Oh no, his army is getting caught in Friuli.
Yeah, they also routed a Mamluk army in Alexandria again. Looks pretty good for them. They got the war score. They could probably force whatever peace they're looking for.
Austria is in their own war.
Yeah, it's a separate war. So they could actually leave Austria in a grim position by piecing out and having Austria deal with the remnants of the Mamluk army. Sadly, there's really nothing left of that Mamluk army, though. But Austria's army is nothing to write home about, right? They have about 24,000 men, and that is it.
Mamluks have got a lot of manpower. They still have a significant army around in their heartland. That's not.
Yeah, I think if Milan made their peace quite quickly, which they just did, looks like they wanted to go for the entire delta here.
Yeah, and Jerusalem got the coastline in the red.
Yeah, Jerusalem came out of that pretty well. They got the whole Tabuk area. And the Pope... Okay, so the Pope got some northern lands. I think it's just claims of Jerusalem, but Jerusalem might just let that one pass for a bit. And now Austria has to deal with the Mamluks. They have war score, but not a lot of it. And the Mamluks are piecing their army back together. This might not be such a smooth ride for Austria.
Why is Kruger fighting Netherlands?
So apparently
there's a Dutch colony in New Caledonia. Vermont and Netherlands have colonized stuff.
Yeah, Grugy was saying that this was unacceptable before, but now he's actually putting that to sword. New Caledonia is under occupation. He's gunning down another province. No, that's him being in that province. And yeah, there's Fiji from Vermont. Well, he's actually going to attempt to defend his region here, and Grugy wins on the seas, right? He's got 7 heavies. The Dutch and Nassau together can only piece together 1. Interesting approach there. Now the Netherlands are just AI played, and there's almost nothing left of them. Oh, in fact, there we go. There's Vermont sieging it down right now. So Vermont's against the Netherlands.
Oh, France has been prettified on the map.
Oh, wow. France is ascending to a nicer shade of blue. What's going to be France's fate here, then?
They moved to California, I think.
Ah, that's right. Here we go. They've actually got their capital over there now. So they are... they're saying goodbye to all the pain and misery of Europe. They've been involved in quite a few wars. Some went their way, some definitely did not. Well, as long as you win the last war, that's what matters.
So true.
Britain's taking care of their rebel problems, which is a running theme for them.
Austria is still fighting their war against the Mamluks, but they have an army. The Mamluks have one. Oh, now I see.
Kings of Mamluks really beefed back up on their army. This might be a little bit troubling for them. But I'm not sure if the Mamluks can get military access through. They would need access through Jerusalem, which they do not have. And I don't think Jerusalem is too keen to offer it right now. It'll be a tough one for Austria to get tons of war score to force what they want, but I'm sure they can. Sure they can try. I'm just surprised that Austria's army is so small. Let's see, they've got a force limit of 107 and tons of manpower, and their money situation isn't that bad. But they're keeping a small and concise army. Could this be hubris about their army's quality? They're on tech 18. Oh. The Mamluks are on tech 19, which is a considerable step up from 18, the extra tactics.
Now Kaiser is not nice again.
What's he up to?
Attacking Manchu.
Oh, right. He's not letting anyone on his borders here. And as we can see, the Ming did not defend Manchu. They got a truce between them. Johan.
Yeah, well...
Japanese ambition. Alright, Manchu's putting up the best fight they can with the finest horses they have. But I don't think it's enough against that Nippon steel. There we go.
I like the name. Oh, there's another player war. Dino is in a war against Ming.
Ooh. But why? This is the Ming conquest of Hai Pong. So Ming's gunning down Dai Viet, and Malacca, who is a honorable ally, is getting involved as well. Are they going to slug it out with the Ming though? Because between the two of them, I think Ming holds the aces.
Yeah, they have like 3 armies down there. Each of them are more significantly bigger than the Malaccan army.
Than what Malacca has to offer. Okay, but neither side piecing out just yet. I'm a little surprised that Ming didn't choose to defend Manchu there. It would be a war on the mainland. So I'm very surprised they didn't get involved. But the Ming are still involved in the other war? Let's see. No, it's just their conquest. Seems like Starnan's thrown into quite a lot of wars, so understandably he can't dedicate to every front. He's going to have to play some diplomacy.
I'm zooming out on the map and I'm looking and I'm saying Genoa is a bigger name and color on the map than all the Italian nations together.
Yeah. I tell you, Genoa has come out of this on their feet. Right, things were looking pretty bad. They were on their knees early on. They lost pretty much everything they had in Italy, but they held on, and through the benevolent help of Hungary, have grown and grown. And yeah, they've got their node. They've got Astrakhan. They got Crimea. And they're making
I think Prussian Commonwealth is making a mistake right now.
I don't know. They're trying to trim down Sweden. When Sweden's borders get too big.
I was going to think they should wait into 1650 because there's always a chance of them getting victory cards in Sweden instead of a neighbor and a friend.
True that. But who are Sweden's allies? Didn't they have allies before? This looks like just Vermont.
Sweden has dropped out.
Ah, right. That makes sense. Alright, Sweden's just chopped liver then. I guess Prussia is pretty greedy for additional development up there. Because Prussia's strong, but they're still quite concise. I'm surprised they haven't gobbled up the last of Lubeck. It's their subject there, but I would have them integrated ASAP. That land is too good to pass up. I wonder if they can integrate them. Yeah, they certainly could. 470 dip, well spent in my view. Aha. Right, I see. They are they're having Lubeck divert their trade power to Prussia, so Prussia's actually benefiting massively from using their trade power there as well. They might actually lose out on money by integrating them. Interesting strategy. I would still prefer the development, because god, that Lubeck's 50 development. What a province.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger cities in the world.
Might even be the biggest. I'll have a quick look at the development map mode, and Hest is at 44. Good old Lothian's at 37. Even over in China, we got Beijing at 43.
Timbuktu is 47.
Yeah, I think you're...
Herat 47.
There we go. Lubeck, the most advanced, biggest, and greatest city on
No,
the earth.
no, it's not. India. Vijayanagar, Chitradurga in Vijayanagar is...
Wow.
Vijayanagar 55.
55. Oh, I see. They're improving development there as well, so they are interested in having one hell of a capital. Strange that they would do that on a grain province, but that is their capital. They'd probably be minting institutions there. Well, fair play to them. Lubeck is only the second greatest city in the world then. Vermont is at war. Vermont is at war with Brunswick. Now, is this a phony war, or are they actually slugging it out? Because Vermont did say that they were kind of done with the drama of Europe, but they also gobbled up the Netherlands. And Brunswick, seizing their opportunity, have decided to attack them for it. Of course, Sweden won't help Vermont, and actually Vermont had no other allies other than the good old US of A, who are involved in this war, but the question is, can they and will they dedicate their troops over to fight against Brunswick? Brunswick has nothing on them on the seas, but they'd have to deliver a lot of units over there to actually stand up to Brunswick's force here. They got 60,000.
Yeah, and Vermont and US together don't even have that, so...
Well, Vermont and the US together have struggled with dealing with the natives, so I'm not quite sure they're ready for a militarized European state. But that's really good land to just let get taken over, especially land that they've just taken and have dedicated to coring. So Vermont's going to be a little torn on this, I think.
30 development? No. Yeah, Den Haag, 30 development.
Yeah, and 22 in Zeeland.
23 Utah.
Yeah, this is good land, which is obviously why Brunswick wants it. Not only that, with this land, Brunswick could actually establish themselves as a naval power, because that's just such good land, good center to trade and estuaries.
And they're allied with the Prussia, Commonwealth, that group, and nobody else there is really a navy.
Yeah, so they're making an excellent move here. Vermont can't defend it, so they might as well take it for themselves.
The play wars in the east have changed, or ended. Hungary and Ming are bordering. Manchu has lost Korea. And Ming has taken over most of the coastline of North Vietnam.
Well, damn, Ming... That was greedier than I expected out of Ming. That's a lot of land to take, but they're also hoovering up Tibet. Looks like they want some good clean borders. Probably something pretty good to defend. I don't know.
Roger, Austria missed an opportunity because Timurids blitzed down the Mamluks and occupied that part instead.
Wow, okay. Interesting. Timurids are allied with Austria, so maybe they came in to try and deal with the army. But come on, Austria could have dealt with that army. You just needed to build an army.
And Yemen is occupying them from the south. I think Yemen and Timurids is basically taking claim that...
Yeah, look at what Timurids just took. Look at what he took in Anatolia. Wow, that is outrageous. I mean, I love it, but oh my. That is treading on everyone's toes. That's getting in the face of Austria. That's getting in the way of the Pope, because you've just boxed the Pope in there. And that is really getting in the way of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem have claims and cores heading up there. So, oh my. I mean, I'd figure with Timurid's eastern border being so uncertain with the Indians, they wouldn't be so keen to pick fights in the west. But that was something else.
But it's like, if they're gonna attack the Timurids are allied with Yemen. And they're allied with who else?
They got Hungary. Hungary, Austria, and Yemen, so attacking Timurids isn't quite so simple anymore. That said, it'll be an interesting day when I see Yemen come to aid one of their allies in a war. But, you know, they're still there. Oh, and they're clambering their way north into Mamluks. Probably deathly aware that the Europeans want to clamber their way south. So better to tie your horse to it than let the enemy. I'm wondering what Yemen's going to do here, though, because they might try to take a concise chunk of land on the way up, or they might land grab and try to cut off Milan from Cairo. And I reckon Yemen could have it either way, because if they just took as much land as they could heading north... Oh, they could solidly deny the Europeans taking pretty much anything else there and box in the last of the Mamluk land for themselves. That would be, well, that would certainly fly in the face of the Europeans, but it would be a good way to mark that territory as their own. After all, Africa for the Africans is what Benin said.
Vermont is offering to cede pretty much everything to Brunswick.
Even after building up that fleet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Oh, Brunswick won out pretty big from that. They also got 136% overextension, but they've got a nice, concise country. They can handle that. Good army for all the rebellions. Wow. Well, Brunswick just stepped up from being a middling European power to a pretty damn impressive European power. And they got
700 development.
Yeah, not only that, he's boxed in another 50-odd development from HRE free cities that I'm sure they could take over whenever they wanted.
Commonwealth grabbed stuff from Muscovy and Sweden.
It's quite the land grab going on, and it's just another 6 years or 5.5 years until it's victory card o'clock.
And someone is attacking Spain. It's Brazil and Japan are allied, and they are attacking Spain.
Both of them attacking Spain. Now I wonder why Japan's getting involved in that. Japan and Spain, they were together for a lot of stuff, right? Spain really helped uplift Japan back when they were Aztecs, but now, now how the tables have turned. But Brazil are just ravaging Spain. They dominate on the area.
Mexico is independent. Spain abandoned Spain and is now Mexico.
Ah. Well, there we go. Right, now Cervanacour is Mexico, where they early on colonized. But I mean, that's probably a good move for them, because right now Spain is chopped liver. Anyone who wants a piece of the Iberian Peninsula can come in and take it. Well, fair play to Cervanacourt. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. And it's folding time for Spain.
It's interesting how we viewed that after the first session, the super powerful Castile, French, Burgundian alliance that drove Portugal out of Europe and eliminated Aragon.
Yeah, it seemed unbreakable, right? They eliminated a player pretty much. They sent another player overseas. They kept Morocco stuck to their continent. But now, like it's 200 years later. And what do we have? Brazil has returned, taken the land back. Andalusia have, formed and taken over here. And the Spanish, French, and other French alliance, it's crumbled, as have all their nations. And what's absolutely unbelievable to me is we still have these 3 Italians all coexisting, and not only that, thriving. Milan and the Pope are both getting international, and Sardinia Piemont's essentially becoming French.
Yeah. Damn, Timurids and Ming and Commonwealth are enormous, and Japan in development as well. Vietnam, Hungary.
Yeah, those development ratings are getting pretty scarily high. Now, there's the thing. 1-to-1, Timurids beats Vijayanagar, and they beat Delhi, but they don't beat both of them combined.
Hungary had to join Austria.
Oh, no. Okay, so Hungary is now getting involved in this Mamluk war. I am surprised. I mean, Austria's winning the war on paper, but I think they don't quite have enough to force all the demands they want. They probably demand quite a bit. Everything that's left in that. Okay, wow, look at the Mamluks are mobilizing and marching right on the Austrians. The Austrians still don't have Tech 19, which would make a big difference in the battles, but I wonder if they're actually going to slug it out here. I'd love to see a fight between the two of them right now. Again, Austria has the manpower, he has the force limit, he has the treasury. Could have the tech. Ah, they're marching in a fight. Yeah, Austria outnumber them quite a lot, and they've got Hungary's backup now. But it's like 2-1 on the losses, and not on Austria's favour there. There we go, Hungarian backup. Can't go wrong with Hungary as a benefactor.
If I'm Jerusalem, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about my heartland there. You have Yemen and Timurids going like, should we really accept this little white?
Yeah, they're gonna get boxed in here, I think. Yemen has almost got enough war score to push through whatever they want. I don't know what they'd want, but if I were them, I'm not, but if I were, I would be boxing off Cairo completely. That whole area is so rich. Got farmlands.
I put it this way,
yeah.
Yemen has 800 development, Jerusalem has 130.
Yeah. Not only that, Yemen's got themselves a couple of decent gold mines. They're really concise. They've got well-defended areas of forts. And Jerusalem has like these 7 provinces, all flat, all... well, not all flat,
France
but...
is in a player war.
What are you up to, France? Against...
Saxony.
Uh-huh.
Saxons are attacking them.
And it's just Saxony, it's 1-on-1. Then again, Saxony has the power to call in God knows how many people, and France have no allies. Not to mention no army here, so Saxony is just kind of strolling on in.
Grug is not winning his war against... Yeah, now he's winning. It was at 1% before.
There we go, he's at 48. And he had a navy previously. I strongly recall Australia having 7 heavies. Now he has... not got 7 heavies. I see a bit of demand in chat to see Brazil. This is Brazil. It's essentially South America. Pretty good stuff. No Falklands though. Falklands for the French. Oh, Grugi's saying attrition. Did attrition take his boats? Ooh-cha. Okay, Brazil, they've essentially grabbed another layer of Iberia for themselves. As for Andalusia, they're cleaning up as well.
Prussia looks really good on the map. Like Norway liberated, Skåne liberated, Denmark liberated, and Västergötland liberated.
Pretty sweet Prussia there. They're strong, they're rich, and they've got loads of land up there to nibble away at. And Vermont just advertised to the world that they don't defend their European holdings, so Prussia could go up and probably just gobble up Scandinavia wholesale. But it would be a clever thing for them to wait 3 years and see what goes on with victory cards.
Yemen, 1 gold star for borders.
Wow. I think they took exactly what I carved out on the map piece deal, except for Cairo, but they've kept Cairo for themselves, and that has just sent a message to the Europeans right there, right? You shall not pass.
Africa for the Africans, or is Yemen African or not? We don't know.
It's up to them to decide, I think. Well, damn. Okay, so this is not free real estate for the Europeans. Jerusalem still has an opportunity to grow out and take some of these incredibly crappy provinces for themselves, but Milan has just gotten hard denied. And that land is really good to take. The whole area is here. Until you get down to the like of Isna and Aswan, where it starts getting all nasty and deserty. It's good. Dry lands, farmlands, deltas, centers of trade. And it's all now for Yemen. Andalusia's made their peace, and I don't quite understand it, but they've still not taken their victory card.
I don't know what they're doing.
All they need to do is take Cuenca, and they will be rocking score like a madman.
3 more years, and then we'll see.
Yeah, 3 more years.
It's almost as fun as chanting 4 more years will be in this autumn.
We got a blue war going on between D-Note and Hungary, and I can't make heads nor tails of it. Okay, so Hungary is going up against Uzbek, and Malacca gets involved in that because...
Go and just attack the D-Note.
Aha.
Or a D-Note ally.
Right, let's look at this from Malacca's point of view. The Japanese conquest of Brunei. Malacca gets involved, but I don't think that's in their favor, so they white-pieced out. It's a ticking time bomb for Malacca, I think. He must have known early on that having Japan here is a big threat. And Japan's just paying no attention to things like alliances and guarantees and that. They are just going in for what they want. What they wanted was Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia.
Whereas like Ming and Japan, they're not allies and they have conflicting interests. Why is not Malacca trying to ally with one of them? Maybe they don't.
Malacca needs to pick a side here, right? Maybe the Indians, maybe Ming, maybe Japan. They're all fairly conflicting. Although Vijayanagar and Japan are stuck together in an alliance. But basically Malacca needs to pick a side here or else he's just going to get picked apart. We've got the Ming army right on his borders. I don't think Ming's quite ready to go on the attack here. But if they wanted to, they could just come in and take him down. Ming actually went all the way down to right at the south of Champa here, Teocamo. So I'm certain he wants to glue his nation together. D-Note saying Ming broke the tributary and Japan alliance just gone because Defender of the Faith. Must have been automatic to be honest. Okay, so they're saying there's no intentional breakups going here. Well, Ming have both Timurids and Vijayanagar as their rivals, so that throws dead a Timurid alliance, although I don't think that would be happening. Well, we'll see if it goes back. It's not the first time that Starnan says something like, oh, it just timed out. That was what caused Milan to be dropped like a hot potato from former allies. But there's the thought. Milan persevered where Switzerland did not, which is pretty interesting. Milan's been in a really rough situation from the start, but they're coming out on top. Of course, now another rough situation has emerged. They got Yemen on their border. If it was just Yemen, I think Milan would be in an alright position to attack. But they have Benin on their side, and Benin says Africa for the Africans. And Yemen's also allied with Timurids.
Papal states allied with Great Britain, Sardinia Piedmont, Austria, Milan, Jerusalem, and Timurid.
If they're making a big alliance like that, I would be surprised if it wasn't for an attack, because he's gone above his diplomatic relation limit.
And Papal Aleppo is bigger. They got a few provinces from the Timurids. I think the Timurids may be a threat to basically eliminate Hungary, Genoa from being on the northern side.
Possible. I think they're prepping for whatever happens in a couple of years then when those cards pop up. But it could be that Timurids took that land and has given it away to cozy up, make some allies in the west basically. Because he does need those. I mean, the east is kind of out for Timurids. Ming is a rival and isn't dropping it. They got Delhi and Vijayanagar, which is a terrifying combination to fight against. It's essentially all of India. And, you know, if you wanted to take them on, you'd have to slaughter both of them. Just grim for them. Manchu's been spared their main heartland. They might have lost Korea, but they've still got Manchu. They're integrating Cochin right now. But that will leave them a little boxed in, and if Japan comes back, I don't know if Ming's going to help them. Ming has so much power, but in what direction are they going to throw that power? They have a force limit of 379,000, manpower limit of 193k, which they are currently at, and they have an incredible surplus of money. Not to mention a new ruler, a 662. Doesn't seem like a star nan to me there. Okay, the Ming is not slowing down with their conquests here. They're taking down Mongyang. I think they really want to take the land surrounding them so that the others do not, because we've seen Delhi aggressively expand eastwards. The Ming needs to go west to meet that. Again, better to hold it themselves than surrender it to potential enemies. There's a question coming in saying, what does Brunswick need to form Hanover? Oh, hang on, I just missed a war declaration there. What was that all about? Ming is also gunning down Langshan. They're taking everything they can around there, and I don't blame them. Alright, taking a quick glance at Brunswick. If they wanted to form Hanover, they'd need just a province off of Prussia, it seems. Lüneburg, Hamburg, and 8 provinces in North Germany with Lower Saxon culture. But Lüneburg is a must, and I'm not so sure that Prussia is willing to give that one up.
Brazil, Benin attacking France and Britain.
Well, that'll be Benin wanting that that coastline for themselves. Ah, right, it works for both of them. So Brazil is likely going to take the Guinea coastline, and the Cameroon with the Gulf of Guinea is going over to Benin. So Benin can finally piece his country together. Maybe even colour in that wasteland, appear enormous on the map. I was wondering what Burundi was doing, but they're a subject of Benin and currently being integrated, so Benin will soon also hold Lake Victoria.
Oh, Vietnam has a snake for a Delhi.
What is this? Whatever it is, I don't like it. Well, Delhi is now split. Delhi and Bengal. But this is maximizing the odds that Delhi and Vijayanagar end up with victory cards on each other.
Play war. Commonwealth versus Great.
Aha! But why against Great Britain from... Oh, okay. The British conquest of Cork. It's against Desmond, but the Commonwealth allied them. Now, can the Commonwealth actually bring anything against that? That's what I'd like to know. Well, of course they can. They can march on to British holdings in France, which are now being incredibly insulated by a Saxon land grab, and what a Saxon land grab it is. Saxony big. I mean, when it came down to Saxony versus Switzerland, it was anyone's game there, but Saxony came out on top, and for that they get the right to expand into France. Dang, those Saxons there. Okay, so the Commonwealth is actually mobilizing. Looks like they're on their way into northern France. So they're... whilst I don't think Desmond's getting the greatest deal out of this, we can see the mighty Commonwealth armies marching on through. Commonwealth, formerly known as Poland, formerly known as Bohemia. The stars really aligned for the French paradox over in Bohemia. I'm really bad at naming things in chat, is saying, why are they randomly defending Irish OPMs? Well, I can't speak for the players because I don't know exactly what they're planning, but I would imagine this is a good opportunity for Commonwealth to put some pressure on Britain for extra land here in northern France. Now, whether that's for the Commonwealth...
for the British Army.
Yeah, the British Army did not stand a chance against the Winged Hussars there. See, the Commonwealth are fairly boxed in. Their coastline is minuscule, and it's... yeah, God, it's over in the Gulf of Finland. So if they're able to wangle something...
War! It's a play war! It's
Whoa,
a huge...
it's a big one! What's going on here? It is enormous. This is continents versus continents.